Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Healer's Journey. Tonight, we are doing part of the series called Embodiment as a Healing Practice. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what that means for you and for you on your healer's journey. Let's get into it now. I am Rosemary Levesque. I am author of Heal Together, Natural Health Solutions for Animals and Their Humans. I'm also Reiki Master, Shaman, and Certified Vibrational Sound Master Teacher. That means I use tuning forks in a very special way. So I'm delighted to combine all of these modalities and more to enhance the healing practice that I have. And of course, my main healing practice is for myself, and that's something we always talk about here. We used to have a disclaimer at the front of our webinars and then a proclamation that, you know, we're here not to make any medical claims. We are here just to say who we are and what we do and claim our medicine for ourselves in our healing practice. So I wanted to know, what's your story and what have you embodied? And in order for you to explore that very broad question, I'd like to share a little bit of my story with you of something that happened recently to me, a couple of somethings. And the first one is that last week I was doing a stretch class, a yoga / stretch class that I do from time to time, at least weekly, a couple times a week. And one of the people in class, whom I know from over the years, said to me, "Are you a dancer?" And I thought that was very interesting because years ago, when I was very young, when I was a child and into my teens, I was a dancer. I took ballet lessons and tap and, you know, all of those things, jazz and whatever they were doing at the time, and I was a dancer. I spoke with her after the class and I said, "How do you know?" She said, "Well, it's the way you move, it's your posture, it's the way you hold yourself." And I said, "Was it my hands?" Because, you know, ballet fingers, right? You have a certain posture in your hands. She says, "No, it's just everything else." So apparently I embodied dancer. And when I think about that, I can find examples of that all the time. When I stand, my feet are often in 4th or 5th position. When I move, I check my shoulders to see if they're back. When I walk, my feet are straight ahead. They're not splayed out, because that's what I embodied when I was very young. I really took that in to my physical presence, and it became more than a habit. It became part of who I am. So that's a part of my story that I wanted to share with you about embodiment today, and I wanted to ask you, what's your story? What have you embodied? Now, there are other things that I have embodied along the way. My embodiment practice is a little different these days than it was a long time ago, but with the training and practice of everything I've done over the years, everything I've taken to heart, everything I've loved and done frequently, I've embodied. Whether it was being a teacher, whether it was being a mother, a nurturer, whether it was stepping into my role as, gosh, I don't know. Pretty much everything I've done, I have trained myself to embody it, and I have encompassed all of the facets of that go with it as well. Dedication, perfection to a certain degree, love of the field that I'm in, love of animals and plants and all of the things that surround the study of biology, a fascination with microscopic things and biochemistry. I've embodied all of that. So that's part of my story. What is your story? Now let's go a little deeper into this discussion. Let's talk about embodiment and what really embodiment is. Embodiment is expressions of practices and habits. What are you reading? What are you expressing in your body? What is your body telling you that you have practiced, and what are your habits? Embodiment is the expressions of belief. Embodiment is the expressions of emotions and the expressions of self. So how do you relate that to embodiment for you? Let's talk about practices and habits, just for example. What are your practices around eating? It's a very simple thing, very simple question, right? And yet, you do have practices and habits around eating. A certain time you like to eat, certain foods you like to eat, how you feel if you don't eat, how you feel if you overeat. You know what that feels like in your body. Or expressions of beliefs. How do you react to somebody when they say something to you that you have a belief about? I was watching somebody recently. My dog and I were out for a walk, and our neighbor's dog ran down the driveway and found us and ran up to us. And I recognized the dog. I said, "Oh, I know who you are. Let's walk you home." So we started walking the dog home, and the owner came out with a barbecue lighter in his hand. And the dog, very young dog, very exuberant dog, was kind of dancing around, wanted to play with Gracie, who was on a leash and behaving very nicely. And this other dog was just out for play and out for trouble. And finally, the owner, saying the name of the dog sternly and actually holding the lighter in his hand, kind of pointing it at the dog cowered. And when I saw that, I had an internal reaction. I had an embodiment feeling. I was expressing to myself a little bit of horror and thinking, my goodness, with this dog cowering, what else is that owner doing that the dog might cower for? You know, why is that dog cowering? Do I have a belief about the relationship between animals and people, and what could have been done differently? So there was an experience there where my beliefs were expressing themselves in how I reacted. I didn't say anything to him because he very gracefully after that took the dog back up the driveway, and the dog scampered up the driveway. So it was okay. Everything's okay. I'm not going to interfere with anybody's business, but I felt that. And so what are your beliefs that you feel? What is showing in your reactions to things, your emotions, and your expressions of self? What about your expressions of memory? Do you remember how to ride a bike, even if you haven't ridden one for a long time? Do you remember how to do anything, even if you haven't done it for a long time? I joke about playing golf once a year, and my body remembers how to play golf because I've done it, and I don't practice so much. I don't practice at all, except the week before I'm going to play, I hit a few balls just to make sure I can still hit them, and I do. My body remembers how to hit them, and I don't intellectualize it. I get out of the way. Every time I hit the golf ball, I become meditative. I breathe. I don't concentrate on hitting the ball. I'm concentrating on how my body feels. Embodiment is also expressions of how we eat, how we move, speak, interact, sleep, behave, and listen. Do you eat fast or slow? Are you a fast person? Or do you move with deliberation or intensity? Are you a loud speaker or a soft speaker? How is your interaction with people? Are you friendly or do you withdraw? These are all embodiment practices that we have. They are expressions of who we are and how we express ourselves in the world. How's your body communicating with you? How is your posture and ease of movement? What is your health? Is it vibrant health? If so, these are ways that your body communicates with you. When your posture is not what it usually is, it's an indicator of something a little bit off, right? If you are slouching when you're usually tall, if you are moving with hesitation instead of ease, if you are feeling ill instead of vibrant, these are ways your body communicates with you. Do you have pain, stiffness, swelling, degeneration, and restlessness? Your body's talking to you. And these are things that you need to pay attention to, because if you are feeling any of these signs that your body is talking to you about, then paying attention to that is helpful. It means that you have embodied something that doesn't resonate with you. Are you carrying excess weight? Do you have accidents and injuries? Are you expressing conditions like heart conditions or digestive conditions, etc.? Are you expressing dis-ease? If so, your body is communicating with you. I had a client recently who is under great stress, unbelievable stress. Can't imagine being in her situation. And she came to me recently because she was not feeling well, but more than that, she had fallen. And more than that, she had other symptoms going on in her legs where there was some block in her circulation. So all of these conditions were showing up in her body. She was embodying and expressing her stress. So instead of embodying ease of movement and vibrant health and assuredness and purity of self, and she's a beautiful soul, a beautiful person, she instead, because of all her stress, embodied accidents and injuries, conditions and disease. So how is your body communicating with you? What have you embodied? I have a quote here from something by Richard Freeman, The Mirror of Yoga, Awakening the Intelligence of Body and Mind. Embodiment is giving form to ideas. Embodiment is learning to understand ourselves and learning to understand the universe. And he says, regarding awakening, our feelings, thoughts, sensations, and emotions reveal the interconnectedness of immediate experience with the whole world of underlying patterns. Patterns is something we talked about before. Patterns reveal themselves in many ways. They reveal themselves in how our homes look, whether they're cluttered or old or falling apart or in perfect shape. Patterns reveal themselves in how we look, how we act, how we feel. Continuing with this quote regarding awakening, this process of realization happens spontaneously when we allow ourselves to fully perceive whatever we are experiencing in the moment without becoming attached to the perception. Do things happen to you that you feel emotional about? Things are happening all the time. And if we allow ourselves to fully perceive whatever we are experiencing in the moment without becoming attached to our perception, then we're realizing something bigger than ourselves. It's part of that process of awakening. And at the same time, without rejecting it, we learn to become aware of our deep perceptions as both vital and real. But more important, we recognize that our own forms of perceptions are the gateway into the matrix that intimately connects us to everything else. Now, if you're listening to this in the moment, I encourage you to go back and read that, listen to that again in the recording that I'll be posting on my webinar series. But I'd like to share with you an experience I had shortly after our solar eclipse that really threw me for a loop. And I know that everybody out there is having some amazing experiences that can be related to this awakening process and can be related to the shifts in energy that we are feeling. As healers on the healer's journey, we are sensitive to these shifts in energy. We are sensitive to the awakenings. We are sensitive to the embodiment. We are sensitive to the happenings of the universe. And so I just wanted to share with you something that happened to me. I took my Gracie, my dog, to a park one day, a park that we visit often, and it was silent. It just really surprised me. There were no birds, when usually there are many birds in this park. There's a beautiful lake with a walking path all around, and many Canada geese, many ducks, birds of all kinds, just noisy flapping, just water sounds, nutria, just a beautiful place to be. And as I walked down by the shore, I saw a man walking his dog up on the path above, and he said, "Isn't it nice? There's no bird poop." I said, "Well, where did all the birds go?" He said, "They oiled the eggs." Because the birds imprint on the place where they are born. And so their solution to what they felt was an overpopulation of Canada geese was to oil the eggs, prevent the birth of the eggs of the Canada geese, and then all the birds left. It was silent there. I was heartbroken. I took it personally. I embodied the grief of the birds. I embodied the quiet of the scene, the silence of the scene, and I began wondering about humanity and questioning the role of humans on this earth. That, do we have the right to oil the eggs? Do we have the right to interfere with the process when we set up the invitation for wildlife to be there by having a lake, and we set up the invitation for the wildlife to be there, to have a beautiful area with trees and grass and all of the things that encourages wildlife to be there? Do we have the right then to say, well, we don't want you. We're going to kill you because we don't like the poop on our path. I read the article. It talked about not only the numbers of geese, which I never felt was overwhelming, and it talked about other reasons for not wanting the geese there. It broke my heart. I embodied the sadness of not just that event, but all of humanity. And so a few days later, still reeling from this, still very sad and heavy-hearted from this, I went to a sound healing event with crystal bowls and with my daughter offering messages. And while I listened to the bowls as I meditated, I felt the tears roll down my face in a form of release, because up to this point I had not cried. I felt the tears releasing. And I had an experience that I'll share with you personally at some point. But the experience felt like being born. And I understood the reason why I was here. I understood for the very first time in my life, yes, I'm a Reiki master, yes, shaman, yes, healer, I admit I'm doing all the healing work, but I finally understood for the very first time why. It's because I chose to be here. Now, intellectually, I knew that. Intellectually, I knew I chose to be here. But emotionally, physically, did I embody that reason? I felt I was being born into human form, but it meant dying from spiritual form, lowering my vibration to the point of becoming physical, and it was for humanity. It was for this very reason. Now, the trigger of the geese, the trigger of that incident, aided in that aspect of awakening. So I want to just say, regarding awakening, many people who are going through an awakening process feel that they have a moment in which they are suddenly awakened. It's a pretty grand feeling to be awakened, to have that epiphany, to have that experience. And yet, be prepared, it is not the only one. It is a spark. It is a fragment. It is a little bit of dust of the awakening that is to come. For each individual, for each healer on the healer's journey, the awakening is a process, not a moment. So even the moment that I had this experience, this awakening of remembering being born and why I chose to, quote unquote, die, really saying I want to die, was a piece of the awakening that I have had, because I've had other awakening moments. I've had other epiphanies. I've had other non-intellectual realizations of who I am. And so I'm asking you, as healers on the healer's journey, what is your awakening? What is your embodiment practice? Why are you here? And who are you? How is that being shown in the world today? So embodiment as a healing practice involves grounding, creating, becoming, feeling, expressing, envisioning, and knowing. Now, if you're looking at these, you might say they are related to the chakras. Yes, they are. Knowing who you are, feeling and being able to create and express yourself, expressing your love and give and take, speaking, seeing, and knowing are all aspects of your energy systems in the body. How have you embodied these different energies? Are you feeling in alignment and balance? Is your awakening process also in alignment with the energies that you have in your physical body? So root embodiment, I'm just going to give you some guidelines here real quickly, and I'll send this also off as a PDF later. To embody your root chakra, dance, move, jump, walk barefoot, shake, lie down on the earth, pat your body all over and say, I am in my body. Eat root vegetables and proteins. Be among the trees. Spend money joyfully. We can talk about each of these things probably for an hour. Feel the energy of specific crystals and essential oils. Envision red in your root and wear red. Sacral embodiment. If you're standing, sway your hips from side to side or make an infinity motion with your hips. If you're on the floor, do a rocking horse movement. That means going from lying on your back with your knees folded up tight around you with your arms around your knees, and then rocking up and rocking back. This will also help activate your sacral chakra. Pat your sacral chakra. Bring awareness to where that is. Drink water. This is a very watery chakra. Be among water. Bathe. Soak. Walk in water. Feel the energy of specific, again, crystals and essential oils. Envision orange in the sacrum. Wear orange. And create something new. Solar plexus embodiment. Do a hula hoop movement. Move that abdomen. Pat your solar plexus or your abdomen. Eat warming or spicy foods. Cinnamon, fennel, for example. Be among fire. Desert. And the dryness of the desert. Feel the energy of specific essential oils and crystals. Envision yellow in the solar plexus and wear yellow. Teach something. Manifest something. Now these are all very general, I know. I'm going through them rather quickly. We'll spend more time on them another time. Heart embodiment. Do deep breathing exercises. Your lungs are part of your heart chakra. You want to encourage deep breathing, which activates your heart as well. You want to pat your heart. You can even, with your fingertips, pat your sternum, your breastbone. Eat with great intention, joy, and motivation. Do people often eat absent-mindedly? Sure, but if you eat with great intention and joy, your experience will be different. You'll be eating from the heart. Do improv dance. Express freedom of movement. Feel the energy, again, of specific crystals and essential oils. Ones I like for the heart, crystals for the heart, could be aventurine or rose quartz. Or there are some combinations. Unakite is really very nice. Fluorite can be for heart energy as well. Essential oils, rose is wonderful. Anything that contains rose. Flowery ones like ylang ylang or jasmine are also very good for the heart. Envision pink or green in the heart. Wear pink or green. Give and receive and forgive. Throat chakra embodiment. Sing, yell, give a speech. Rock your head from side to side. Let your chin drop to your chest and then roll your head back and forth. Eat slowly, deliberately. Feel the energy of specific crystals like sodalite or kyanite, beautiful blue crystals that can help open the throat chakra. Essential oils like eucalyptus is very good for the heart and lung, or excuse me, for the throat. Envision blue in the throat. Wear blue and express gratitude openly. Thank someone. Be honest with yourself. Third eye embodiment. Meditate. Dream. Be still. You can use amethyst crystals, clear quartz, lapis lazuli are all very good specific crystals. Essential oils, frankincense is an excellent oil, cedarwood as well, or other tree oils help you be very meditative. You can envision indigo in the third eye. Wear indigo or purple. Trust your intuition. Record your dreams and coincidences. Crown chakra embodiment. Pray, invoke, and celebrate. Hold your palm on the top of your head. Perform sacred ceremony. Honor something, in other words. Feel the energy of specific crystals and essential oils. You can use amethyst again. Also, angelite, celestite are very good crystals for the crown chakra. I also like rutilated quartz or Lemurian quartz. There are many options. Essential oils, again, rose is wonderful for that. Blue cypress, those are good essential oils for the crown and helping you feel embodied. Envision white or gold in the crown. Wear white or gold to honor the embodiment of your crown chakra. And recognize the divine in you by honoring your physical body. Now that's a lot, and gone through quickly too. Just wanted to mention working with vibration. I didn't mention anything about the Solfeggio sounds, but you notice in the picture on the left that the tuning forks are different colors, and the Solfeggio sounds with their different vibrations complement and work with the different chakra centers in the body. So the red tuning fork, 396 hertz, and on up, they all have their own vibration to support the embodiment and the energy of each chakra in the body. We have classes and workshops to support you on your journey. Vibrational sound healing classes with the Solfeggio energy tuners to heal the etheric field. So it's not only what you have in your body, but how the energy is moving toward you to manifest in your body. I also have a Somasonic series that's going to come onto the calendar fairly soon, where you get to experience all different kinds of tuning forks. You can find that on the calendar for secondnaturehealing.com. Reiki classes are ongoing, and we have a Reiki Master Teacher program coming up. I will also be expanding our Reiki Apprentice program. So for those of you who have been attuned to Reiki with us, we are here to support you on your journey and would love to see you do more and be more with stepping into your power as a healer on the healer's journey. The Illumination Healing series, the first one is Illuminated Self. We have that coming up on this fall. We'll be doing that again. We're also bringing it to Sedona so that you can join us there if you prefer. Where will your path lead you? How will you embody your practice? How will you embody your medicine? How will you claim it? I would love to know more about you and your journey. The best way to reach me is through my website, secondnaturehealing.com. You can also visit illuminationreiki.com or email me, rosemary@secondnaturehealing.com. If you're not receiving the webinars, please go to secondnaturehealing.com/webinar and register, and that way you'll get all of the information, all the downloads directly to your mailbox, and you can listen to them anytime. Thank you so much for being here. I would love to hear more from you. Take care and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.